What kind of glasses did you have at the time?
Oh, I had no glasses. I don't think I had glasses.
Okay, so you do it without them.
Glasses. But now I hope I can see. Hello, this is Mariette Liefering from the Federation for a Sustainable Environment. I wish please to speak to Mr. Moelman, if it is at all possible.
What happened?
No, I think they're gone. It's on voicemail. And as I was about to go into my message, it stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you do it one more time, because this is too short to.
Yeah, but
so then
why can I not just pretend?
you can.
Yeah, okay.
But at that stage, did you have your NGO? Not in the beginning.
Mentals was 2006, and our NGO started 2007.
Okay, so you can, yeah. But you don't always have to use the NGO.
Yeah. Good afternoon, this is Mariette Liefering. I'm phoning in connection with your operations in the West Rand. We had visited some of the sites, and during the in-loco inspection we noticed that acid mine water is flowing through a breach in the dam wall that is from the Lancaster Dam into the Wonderfonteinspruit, which is widely used by the communities. This is a matter of significant concern to us. I wish to urgently ask for a meeting and as well as request your legally binding environmental management program report and your legally binding water use license. I trust that this call will be responded to and promptly, because the situation, it is my considered opinion, is a serious situation, especially if the metals are mobilized into the potable water of the communities. Thank you very much. If you do not respond, in the absence of a response within 24 hours, I unfortunately will have to escalate the matter to the Department of Water Affairs, Water and Forestry. Thank you. Goodbye.
And when you're done, never look at me. Give it like 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
30 seconds of just nothing.
Nothing, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'll phone water and sanitation. Let me just see what I've written here. 3368577. Good afternoon. My name is Mariette Liefering. Am I speaking to an official from the Department of Water and Sanitation? Yes, I would like to speak to someone within the Enforcement Department. I wish, on behalf of my organization, to lay a complaint with the Department of Water Affairs. The complaint pertains to the discharges of untreated mine water into a river system that is within the West Rand. I shall supply the coordinates to you in an email. I wish you please to investigate the matter and to report back. Also provide us with the water quality results in order for us to see if it is compliant with the resource quality objectives, which of course are legally binding. May I also ask that you escalate this matter to the Director General of Department of Water Affairs. I thank you for your cooperation and look forward to your response. Bye.
Was there nobody?
Nobody, so I just speak. I speak as I always speak.
Yeah. No, but it's... Stop the number.
Must I call?
No, it's up to you if you want to call.
I don't know. Let me just hear who it is, and then I'll say. Just write the number, speak. Hello, I'm well, thank you. To whom am I speaking?
To Lucien from the
Oh, sorry, Lucien. Yes, so we're still busy with the filming, Lucien. Does this pertain to the letter, the PAIA application?
No. This actually pertains to Prashant's telephone call. He gave me a phone call today.
And what did he say?
So it's with regards to PhoneCalls.
Yes.
So I basically checked him up on an email we sent late August just to remind him that there needs to be enforcement done. He said that he has internally been pressing all members of the Department of Water and Sanitation to try and get a sort of a resolution. But please, he said, keep that between you and myself, not to be mentioned to anybody else, that he is trying on his side. And he's given me a couple of telephone numbers to talk to write the complaint. I want to write a complaint.
But Lucien, just hold a second because you're on speakerphone.
No, it's not a problem.
You will erase it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Lucien?
Hi, Mariette, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, so he gave me some telephone numbers that deal with the enforcement department at national level that will be in contact with. So I'm, in terms of preparing the complaint letter that we wanted to do next year, we're going to have to then enforce it on these 5 people he's given me contacts to. But yeah, so he also said that he's more than welcome to mention his name in the email address.
Sorry, we should not. Or I didn't.
No. He said no. Basically, there's some stuff that he said in confidentiality.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So when I write the letter, you'll see what I mean once the letter has been written when we write to the Department of Water and Sanitation.
Yes.
But he just called me just because I emailed him just to remind him about the fact that that there's outstanding issues here.
Yes.
In fact, it's not really my department, the enforcement side, but he has been involved at various meetings internally with DWS to try and get some sort of enforcement against Mintos. But there's been obviously, internal fighting or issues
Yes,
that
yeah.
that he has problems with, and so he's given me numbers to other people who can assist us.
Who are these other people? Because, yeah.
So it's Mopai. I don't know if you know that one.
Yes, I know.
Yes, it's Mopai. It's Annette, which is a national level.
Yes.
And then it's, Mukhale Matsebe.
I know him.
Matseba.
Yeah.
That you know very well. And then
Yes.
Lawrence Luvuyo.
Oh, yes, I don't. So Anil Singh is out now. He used to be the DDG.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But I think he's been suspended.
Yeah, so these 4 people are the people we need to write the complaint letter, I think. Because we said we were going to send one to EMR, one to DWS, and one to DEA.
That's correct. But Lucien, at least there's progress. It's not that we are now in past. There is some progress, and that is encouraging. So thank you very much for following up. I just briefly had a look at your emails, and I noticed that you referred to an email, I think, in August. So the problem is, I think they are so undercapacitated that they themselves do not have a record of promises that were made and promises that they failed to honor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Bishop said, he's more of a strategy, policy development guy.
Yes.
So he's like at that level, if we can put it like that.
Yes.
But with regards to the other issues, the enforcement stuff, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's their job, and it's not like this is a new thing that's just happened this year. This is a known mining company that has been drinking for years. But in any event, Mary, at least like you said, there is continuity and there has been development.
Yes. But thank you very much, Lucien. I hope you will have a good weekend and rest a bit.
I'm trying to tie everything up, so it's going to be a bit of a busy weekend.
Yeah, but I'm still going to write a thank you letter for you and Janet for assisting us yesterday.
No. It's really my turn. It was done with the greatest pleasure.
Thank you, Lucien. Okay.
All right, Mary, so we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So,
whenever there is something, just give us a few moments of not looking into the camera. Just give us
but I did not look now.
But let's let it just rest a little bit before you look up.
Okay.
So stay within your own feeling.
How many counts must I count?
You can count to 20.
To 20.
And Maria, I understand this is something that's confidential.
No, you must just leave out the names.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is that these things that happens naturally.
Yeah.
That's what the documentary is about.
I know, and I so wish it could have been recorded because there were wonderful incidences. They were wonderful. You see, now we must recreate it, which is
what I would like to have also, if you call people, and if you don't get through, and if you're faking the call, you have to say, okay, when can I call back? Okay. You can say, I call now many times.
Yeah.
Can you? I mean, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is
and that is very realistic.
Exactly. So, because I also made many calls. I know people don't call back.
No.
So you can be like that.
Yeah.
Be somebody who's really pushing it.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Can I please speak to Grant Walters or Marie-Louise Loon? This is in connection with the Blyvoort Uitzicht Gold Mining Company. I wish to lay a complaint and I would appreciate it if you can call me back. But this is almost the 10th time that I'm phoning and I do not get through to the correct officials. The call is often transferred from the one to the other and I do not know who to speak to. I would really like you to escalate this matter to the responsible person, the competent person, the person that has been appointed to assist. And then please return this call. I would like I understand that you are busy, but there has to be sufficient capacity with your department in order to address environmental incidences, in specific if there are emergencies. Please call me back. My number is 011 465 6801. Thank you. Goodbye. That's not my correct number. I should have made that. Should phone again. Perhaps I should then call Department of Mineral Resources.
Maria, this was really good. It was really good.
Yeah.
I think if we should do more, you should actually change.
Oh, I must do.
Okay, I'm rolling.
Okay, Speedy.
Good afternoon. Is this the Department of Mineral Resources? May I please speak to the Deputy Director General? Can I then perhaps speak to the Chief Director of Regulations? I can briefly explain, but I would like to speak to a person who has decision-making power. I have noticed that there are quite a number of open pits where there is no access control, there is no berms, there are no warning signs, it's not fenced off. I've noticed that there is unlawful entry into these open pits. It's a matter of safety and security. I just wish to remind you, and I trust that you are familiar with the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act, that if there is cessation of mining, a mining company ought to apply for a closure certificate. The open pits cannot be left as it is. There has to be either an application for care and maintenance or alternatively for a closure certificate. So this, I feel, is not only non-compliant on the part of the mining company in question, but it also demonstrates a systemic non-enforcement of non-compliances by the Department of Mineral Resources. This is unacceptable. So if you could please call me back with urgency. If you do not, well, then I will have to instruct our lawyers in order for us to leave them, to escalate the matter into a legal intervention. Yes, you have my email address. Yes, my telephone number is correct. Thank you. Goodbye.
That was a real. Somebody was on that side.
But what comes on is a voicemail. It says, the first one was, be patient, we'll put you through. This one was, you've reached the...
And
Yeah.
regarding Sylvia,
Yeah.
I want you to we can do that separately. Now I want you to tell us that she is working for you. We can do that as an interview piece, just a little piece. Don't forget the cat in the middle of the call.
Put it on it.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sylvia. How are you?
Good, and you, ma'am?
I'm also well, thank you. Sylvia, I'm calling in connection with the residents, the people that live on the Tudor dump. Do you know how many people are living on the dump itself and how many people are living around the dump?
Actually, there are not many people that still living there. Those that are living at Tudor South.
And
there are
yes?
And there are people, those that still near to Tudor Dam.
Are there children that are staying on the dump? Are there children playing on the radioactive soil?
The children are still playing there. They're always on dump to play because they like to run on top of that radioactive plant.
And Sylvia, are there still people planting their vegetables on the dump? David, you remember David's house? Is he still planting his vegetables?
Yeah, there are few people, those they still planting the leaves outside of the radioactive.
Yes, that is of great concern to us, Sylvia. So thank you for alerting me to that, because I know you yourself are staying on the dump. I have seen that your house has been established without a foundation on that radioactive soil, and of course that is a risk to both you and to your neighbours. We will investigate the matter further. We will take soil samples. We will have it analysed in order to determine the radioactivity, but also the other metals that the children, especially the children because they are vulnerable, are exposed to. Will you be able to assist me perhaps in a few days' time?
Yes, ma'am, I'm willing to help you. It will be helpful because I'm also concerned about the women, those that eat that soil.
Are they eating the soil?
Yes, they eat in the soil because when I asked them, they said that soil is nice, it's very nice and it's like chocolate.
Oh.
Especially the pregnancy one.
And the pregnant women are especially vulnerable because of the unborn children. May I ask, do the children also eat the soil, or is it only the pregnant woman?
The pregnancy lady, women only.
And then when the wind blows, do you find that there is a significant amount of that dust from the dump that also blows towards the communities?
Yes, ma, because even you can't even cook when it's dust, it's dust, because that dust goes straight inside your house and you can't even open your pot to make food.
And have you seen that the children are coughing a lot? Are their eyes burning? Have you seen perhaps on the skin that the skin is itching?
Yes, we got children, those we already speak so that those their parents complaining about coughing and skin itching.
Yeah, perhaps when I see you in a few days' time, you can take me to these families so that we can conduct an interview with them.
It would be helpful, ma. I will do that for you.
But thank you very much, Sylvia. So I will call you back in a few days' time and then we can make the arrangements. Thank you very much for assisting me. It's been for me also very valuable. Thank you, Sylvia.
You're welcome, ma.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, good. Now I would like you, let's stay there and I will make a few questions to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more, this is like probably not synced, but it's good to, it will do them anyway.
And I just found out to thank her.
Yes, you may.
Yeah. Because Akshan, she tried hard.
You did well.
Yeah.
Hello, ma.
Sorry, Sylvia, now we're all right. We're not acting anymore. I just want to thank you. You did very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, ma, you're welcome.
And I will phone later, Sylvia, to confirm
Yeah,
about...
because I did talk with Sylvia.
Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah, she said tomorrow we're gonna meet at McDonald's at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Okay, so we have it.
Yeah, and she also asked me to arrange someone with a bike to lay the signature, like that person is moving from Chudosha.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you then.
ma'am.
We'll see you at 10 at McDonald's.
Okay, no problem.
What did you say the other day that I must not forget what? The Christmas.
No, Jeanette stuff.
The what?
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Yeah.
You mean the lady that's pregnant?
Yeah.
Very short about to the shaft and that you hired an assistant who lived on the town.
Yeah. When I first went to Tudor Shaft, I was unaware of the toxic and radioactive dump, the waste material. So I arrived there to do awareness creation amongst the communities. And as I was walking from shack to shack, a person approached me. This was Sylvia Barnard, and she asked if she could assist me. And that was about 14 years ago, and till today we work together. She has assisted me not only in creating awareness amongst the communities, but she alerted me to the fact that there are many houses, huts, shacks built on a radioactive dump. And that is how we then commenced with the testing. We had some experts advise us, for example, on the risks and the hazards, and eventually, of course, the community on the dump was relocated. And recently, a few months ago, the community around the dump, not on the dump, but in the close proximity to the dump, had been relocated to low-cost housing. So the only persons that are now still living there are persons that earn more than 3,500 rand a month, and persons that do not have legal documents. These are the foreigners.
Is the birds a problem for you?
What?
The birds?
If you can have a cutaway of that.
Yeah, we have that
It's very
already.
natural.
But I think, what you can do if you stand close, if you stand outside,
Yeah.
They will not be there. They will go
Or
away.
you mean like scare them away?
You don't have to. If you just stand close, they will not. They will
Alright,
not.
cool.
They will
You're
be
still rolling
scared.
them, huh?
Yeah.
I have about 50 of those red
They're
ones.
so beautiful.
Yeah, I have all
Because
the
I tried to
country-
film them with my camera, I couldn't because they were flying away. So
Yeah.
so if you are around that, they will keep a little bit more silent.
Alright, we're still rolling.
Can you also tell me why you started your own NGO?
Obviously, when you are on your own, you do not have as much authority, or you cannot. No, wait. Let me think. I must think.
It's a short story.
Yeah, it's just that it is good to be in collaboration or cooperation with other persons, because not one person is an expert in all things. So you have need for persons that are strategists, you are need of advisors, and for funding too. If you wish to have funding, it is necessary to register a non-profit organization. That also then will lead to exemption from tax. You can then apply for exemption of tax, and you register with the Department of Social Services. There are, of course, certain obligations that you have to fulfill. Obligations such as, for example, audited financial statements, an accountant, an independent accountant. You have to also...
Don't go into all those details, I will not use them anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you can tell me about the funding.
The funding is problematic. During the apartheid years, overseas countries would fund the activists that activities against apartheid. When the democracy was established, that funding was transferred to the state, to the South African government. So many non-governmental organizations no longer had access to funding. Most of these organizations were social rights organizations, not environmental organizations. The environmental organizations are organizations that focus on charismatic animal and plant species. In other words, it's not oppositional NGOs. It's NGOs that would, for example, not take a mining company to court.
Yeah, not too much of
Okay.
details. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there had been very feeble funding for our organization, but two of the mining companies had, besides other funders, but two mining companies fund the tours that I conduct in order to create awareness amongst communities of the legacy of mining and the risks, the current risks and hazards of mining. And the other mining company also pays for the hiring of walls, the food, in order for my organization and I to facilitate community meetings between a mining company and communities that are affected by the mining company.
Can you feel that have they bought you?
I think that one must look at the evidence. If I had been silenced, if I no longer continue in my activism, then I would answer yes, I have been compromised. But I have carried on with my activism notwithstanding, and I think the evidence speaks for itself. I am in litigation against directors of mining companies. I have brought complaints to the responsible competent authorities, and I continue in lobbying, in whistleblowing. So the evidence, I think, would indicate that I am still unfettered.
Good. I was thinking of today, you didn't want to say that you think gold is dirty when you met the
Yeah, but
men.
it's
Can you say it now?
Yeah.
You don't wear gold?
Oh, okay, yes, yeah. Must I go? As you can see, I'm not wearing gold. I still feel that gold has had a significant cost to both the environment and to communities. And I am not comfortable until I have seen that the environmental damage, the degradation, the destruction of the wetlands, and also the upliftment of communities, unless that is not addressed and addressed in a sustainable manner, then I would not feel comfortable wearing gold.
But you said before you thought gold is dirty.
Yeah, because it leaves a...
Can you say it again?
Okay, the gold itself is a very glamorous product. However, it results in a dirty consequence. The dirty consequence is polluted water. It is degraded land, it's radioactivity. So one would assume, or no, so one would infer that gold is dirty. Is that what you wanted?
That's right.
Yes.
We have some really small. We're trying to build your story
Yeah.
through the interviews I did before,
Yeah.
but we're lacking some small sentences,
Okay.
and that's really because you tell the whole story of your life, Jehovah's Witness, your family, and then there's a transition to your husband leaves you and you're going down. But we are missing that very sentence. But then one day my husband left me.
No, he did not leave me. I left him.
Okay, but he did something that made you leave him.
Yeah. So.
How can you tell? So there was some kind of breakdown anyway. So
Yeah.
how can you say it so it feels truthfully for you?
What happened is, but it's a long story.
Yeah, but I'm looking for one sentence. It's like a transition sentence.
So what should I say then? But just assist me. I mean, give me the words that I must say, and then I'll tell you if I'm comfortable with that or not.
I mean, the easiest way is say that he left you, but he didn't. He betrayed you, as you said.
Yeah.
And you could say that then one day my husband betrayed me, and I decided to divorce.
Perhaps not betrayed. One day
because it's not about.
No.
I know there was
Okay.
financial
Yeah,
issues.
no,
we don't really need to go into that
yeah,
because that's
no,
very
okay.
complicated.
So I felt that our marriage was dysfunctional, and our marriage then ended, and we then divorced.
Can you say one day?
What did I say?
One day, because that's like yeah.
One day I came to the realization that our marriage is dysfunctional, and we decided, my former husband and myself, to divorce.
But it wasn't an easy decision. It was.
Yeah. So one day I came to the realization that our marriage was dysfunctional, that we cannot continue with the marriage. We then obtained a divorce, and well then we separated our ways, and that was the end of my marriage.
But you also did enter into some really hard times. It was.
Yeah,
it was like a turning point in your life.
Of course, when I divorced, there was a major upheaval, because not only did I sever my marital relationship, but it also led to the abandonment of Jehovah's Witnesses. My whole social structure collapsed at that point. Financially too, it was a struggle. We had to endure financial hardships. I had two minor children to see through school and through university. So I would say that it was very challenging times. And but through that all, I think one realizes that one can survive.
Could you say just a sentence like, but then it came a very difficult time?
So after my divorce...
No, just before, just that single sentence.
It was a very difficult time.
But it's like, but then suddenly, one day it came something happened in your life, so it was, a difficult time arrived.
So after the divorce, a difficult time arrived.
Maybe before even, because when you felt it was coming.
Yeah, even before the divorce, it was a very difficult time. A difficult time from, well, the dysfunctionality of the marriage until the divorce, and even after the divorce, for years after the divorce, was a challenging, a difficult time.
I'm looking for a line that's
Okay.
it's coming. It's like
But,
then
but
it's
just
like
give
a-
me the sentence.
it's like a story. It's changing suddenly. It's sunny day, but then the rain comes. You know, it's like I'm looking for that kind of break in the story. So
But I don't. You must help me.
I'm trying. And
Just give me my words. Give me the words I must say, and I'll say it. Must I say it's been a difficult time?
no, but then a very difficult time came in my life.
Then a very difficult
But
time.
then
A very difficult time came in my life.
say it one more time.
But then a very difficult time came into my life. No, but then it was a very difficult time in my life. But then it was a very difficult time in my life.
Then it came a very difficult time, or it started a very difficult.
But then a very difficult time started in my life.
That's great. Sorry, this is really small.
but I feel like I'm a great one.
You will see in the end.
No, I understand fully. It's just
we have wonderful stories of you, but then we suddenly lack
the transition.
the transition. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's more of this. So something like this. Then I started to collect all the documents on Mind Waste that I could find. I went to libraries, I went to universities. I also started to consult the law books of my father and bought more law books. I now have an entire law library, something like that. You said something of this before with Adam, but the sound is quite bad, so we wanted to make it with real
So
sound.
just before I say that
Yeah.
I consulted libraries and my father's law books, what was the first sentence?
Then I started to collect all the
Okay.
documents on
Yeah.
mine waste.
Yeah. Then I started to collect the documents on mining waste, on mining operations, on mine water. I visited universities, I visited libraries, I requested the information from the state departments, I requested it from the mining companies. In fact, my father's law books I also employed in my studies, and in fact I have a law library at the moment. I have a library with law books.
That's great. This is really good. We don't even have to repeat it. And we'll have a look at the law books soon.
Yeah.
Then this is like more a reflection from you, because now you are entering into, you come from a normal South African who hasn't been reflecting on what's in the mine dumps,
Yeah.
and now you know a bit more,
Yeah.
and you keep wondering how come nobody ever talks about this.
Yeah.
Why that nobody seems to know about this, and the few people that do are very quiet.
Yeah.
Why is this? And now you say now I want people. I have decided that the people have to be informed.
Yeah.
People need to know about this.
I was very perplexed that no one knew about the risks or the hazards, that no one seemed to talk about these risks or hazards associated with the mining industry, and I felt it now my moral obligation to inform people, to create awareness for people to be aware of the risk and hazards, and I felt it my duty to disseminate this information.
When I tell about this story to other people, I normally use the expression that the environmental impacts of the gold mines are like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
It's there and it's big, but
Yeah,
nobody.
but no one talks about it. Yeah, it is what I have found is, and it's very surprising, it's perplexing, because the visible evidence is there, but it is as if the whole issue is shrouded in secrecy. There is a reticence, almost an avoidance of talking about these matters.
And this is, and that avoidance has been since you were young.
Yeah.
It's been when you were a young mother, and it's now when you're a grandmother.
Yeah.
So it's been ongoing for many years. Can you?
And,
Because it's also winded back to the days where Turton was
Yeah.
in the government,
Yeah.
and they also knew in
Yeah.
the 50s and 60s. They also knew.
Yeah. Of course, this failure to disclose the information, the failure to inform communities of the risk or hazards, that is not a new phenomenon. It happened over many years. It was as if the risks or impacts had been suppressed, that no one wanted to talk about it, and if you were to talk about it, obviously then you have become an unpalatable person. It's unpalatable, the issues such as pollution of water, radioactivity, is almost unpalatable.
What does it mean, unpalatable?
Onsmakelijk, it means if you eat food that is very without taste. Unpalatable is a very nice word. It means it's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. It makes you nauseous.
Okay, Manda, we're almost through, so we'll get you out of this.
Just the
Yeah.
lamp was on my shirt.
This is something when because you also have setbacks in your fight.
Yeah.
And you've said in an interview with Adam that I would just burst into tears from pure exhaustion. I was disheartened, but something inside me said, Mariette, you have to continue.
I can't remember that,
No,
but
you
it
said-
must have. No, there's often there's great frustration. It's not only that you are tearful, and the tears are not because of sadness only. The tears are of frustration because you seem to run against walls all the time. There seems to be no response, or it seems that you have a little progress and then there's regression again. So I think it's just a despair in the sense that you know that, and it's based on fact that there are all these incidences, there are all these risks and hazards, there's all these non-compliances, and notwithstanding the facts, the overwhelming facts, you still find that there is no action being taken, and that is extremely frustrating.
And then you burst into tears sometimes.
Yeah, and then, well, out of frustration, I then at times just burst into tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the frustration, because of the intensity of that frustration, at times I would just burst into tears.
Thank you. Let's see. We're almost through that. That's good. Thank you.
Are you satisfied now? What I have just said, will you match it with previous images of me?
Yeah.
It's not my image now. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's why the sound is complicated, because this will not be an in-sync interview. It will be a part of a different story. So it's not cutaway is not enough. Yeah, we did it. We've done the birds before. The same birds.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is it Stefan that is sending you the text?
Yeah, Stefan and I have been working intensely.
Yeah.
So it's but so we've been working on a list of. But so I asked him about really make a list so we can go walk it through. And there are still more stuff to do.
But may I ask you, now
Yes.
it's been shot over so many Yes, I have forgotten what I did and what I said. It comes to me as a bit of a surprise. So what is shown of me? Can I just ask? Does it show like the promo, like that?
I have no idea what we'll use over this.
Not,
It can be you driving a car. It can be anything. You know, it's
yeah.
like you walking in the felt. You know, it's
But look, you know, Fredrik, I must just tell you, it's become such a part of my life that Tony is excellent. Tony remembers everything, and he can articulate it. I can't. You have to think a lot about yourself, and you also must think a lot about. You must have a high esteem of yourself, and reflect, and take hours to reflect on yourself to be able to give such an excellent summary of yourself. I can't do that.
it's not a problem. I like you much more than Tony. No worries. Okay, phone call. Yeah. Oh, the phone calls from farmers. That's something we need to recreate. So we have some. Your phone is calling, and
My phone.
yeah, let's
No.
say. No, we will make it call,
Yeah.
and then you pick it up, and it's now the farmers calling you,
Okay. Yes.
and you ask some questions,
Yes.
and then you said,
But which farmers? There were so many. Can I just make it up?
yes,
Yeah.
we will be out in the west where we were with Adam.
Yeah.
But you could also say,
But where was I with Adam? Was I don't know where I was with Adam. Was it with Peter Eder?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Among there was also others. Some with big horses, and there were some different.
With horses.
Yeah.
You see, I can't recall.
It's okay. But so it's more that you receive this call, and you can tell them, but I'm not an expert. I don't know if I can help you.
Yeah.
But of course, and then they can insist and say, okay, yes, I will of course come out and visit you and see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the Shell story made you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to mention Shell, but I mean, it's.
But it happened like that because people read about me in the papers about Shell, and I felt that I can perhaps assist. Yeah.
And you could.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the amazing story.
Yeah.
And that's the story we want to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, sorry, Fredrik, I just want to say, you know, when Neil Vroneman, when you asked him what he thought of me, and he went back, that I had forgotten, because it was at a uranium mine where the community there called me and said it's in Dominionville, and they said I must look at their water, and I must also look at their pigs. There's many pigs there, and they live adjacent to radioactive waste, and then I went to their homes, into their homes. They took me around, and then the security from the mine arrived there and said, I'm trespassing, I must please leave. And I said, no, I will not leave. These people invited me. These people stay on the land. And then I asked to see the CEO. I didn't know it was Neil Vroneman. And that is how our first encounter happened. But what was interesting is what he said, he felt intimidated. I never see myself as a person that intimidates, which also just shows that one's perception of oneself is perhaps sometimes flawed.
You know, it's also that truth is painful.
Yeah.
So you told him something that it was painful for him, and of course he didn't like you. Yeah. People don't like the truth sometimes. You know?
Yeah, and it interferes obviously with the operations of a mining company, you know, if there's an activist. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move.
I collected not only law books, I also collected books of literary excellence, like this Alexander Pope selected works, and I would often borrow from these books. For example, this one, and it's phrases that I often used when I wrote to government officials or when I wrote to the mining companies, such as, for example, to think that you would attack me at all. Pleasure to find that you can attack me so weakly, or I should take the only method either of self-defense or retaliation that is left me against a person of your quality and power, and as by your choice of this weapon, your pen, you generously meant to put yourself upon a level with me, I will as soon believe that you too would that you would give a wound to a man unarmed, as that you would deny me the use of it in my own defense.
It's very long.
Yeah, it's too long, but I appreciate it in the answer, sir. But let me just say this. Yeah. So I often use books of literary excellence, to use phrases in the books when I corresponded with mining companies or with organs of state. And that I felt was necessary because I am Afrikaans, and I wanted to have a professional approach. Yeah. Is that all right?
Let's go and check the law books. It's around the corner.